This week we read primary and secondary sources regarding slavery and the bonds of womanhood in the North and the South. We described the horrors of the institution of slavery and a woman's place in the United States. While both issues are important, this week's discussion will focus on the institution of slavery primarily. For many people, it's hard to realize that only 150 or so years ago, a group of people held another group of people in bondage and as property. When even more shocking is that there are many methods used by many white Americans to control slaves in a brutally violent and unimaginable way. Even the possession, no matter how kind that master may be, the fact is a person actually owned another person and considered them property is in itself dehumanizing and oppressive. For this week's discussion, I want you to choose a primary source from chapter 10, Hollett's book, that stood out to you. Now you cannot use a slave's letter to his former master. You used that for the primary source analysis, so you can't use that. But I want you to use another primary source. And remember, a primary source is not a secondary source. And in fact, the book breaks it up and actually says primary sources. Um, and in this, I would like you to use a primary source and tell me how did that essay, that primary source, that interview, show the control of the master over the slave? And why do you think it's important for us as Americans today to read these slave narratives? This is a personal issue. It can be emotional to many. It should be emotional to many. I look forward to your discussions and put the time and effort, especially in this very important subject.